Hello beautiful makeup lovers and welcome back to my channel. We today have another new Beauty Bay palette. I do pick up all of the Beauty Bay palettes generally and like to review them on my channel. I do have a playlist if you want to check it out, but today is the turn of the Metamorphic palette. Now this palette is £18 and it's a little bit different than what Beauty Bay usually put out. I'm not sure if this is limited edition or not, but I think this is their holiday palette for this year, and it opens like this, which I am a big fan of. I love it when packaging opens in the middle like that and it's magnetic. I don't know what it is, I just absolutely love it. It's very, very shiny packaging, so I hope I'm not blinding you. The colour story is very cool toned, very sort of space age, futuristic, and we have some duochromes. I don't know who was shouting in my comments before about Beauty Bay doing duochromes and multichromes, but they're here. Let's dive in to the close-ups and the swatches.
Time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going.
So this palette does have 16 shades and 5 of them are mattes, which makes me a little bit sad. If I'm honest, shimmer lovers are going to be over the moon with this, but I prefer a matte heavy palette in general. I just feel like you can do so much more with it. I use a lot more mattes in my looks than I do shimmers, so I'm a little bit sad about that. However, the mattes that are included are really nice. We do have a deep matte, we have a, what else do we have? We do have some lighter mattes. I wish there was a slightly lighter matte than the ones that we have in here, but we're going to play around with this today, see what we think, see if it is good Beauty Bay quality that I am used to, and see what these duochromes are like. I'm just going to prime my eyes with my Beauty Bay eye base. I am running out of this so I don't use it all the time. I think mine's in the shade number 2, but everything that I'm using should be linked in the description down below. And if you're wondering what crazy lip colour I'm wearing that makes me look a little bit dead, it is actually from Melt. I think it's called Tomboy, yes, and it's a very cool tone sort of. It looks like a taupe, but then if you see the bit that I'm actually using, it looks quite grey. So I did use some of that, and then I did just pop on a little bit of my Star Wars gloss, the purpley shimmer one from Colourpop. And I do usually already have a video up ASAP when it's a Beauty Bay palette, but life is crazy for me at the minute, so if my uploads are a little bit here and there, then that is why I've got so much going on, which is why I couldn't film as soon as I got this palette yesterday and get my video up like I normally would have done. Now the issue I have is I'm staring at a very big pile of brushes that need to be cleaned. So all of my favourite brushes are real dirty and they need doing, and I can't actually believe I've let it get this bad. This is your little reminder, clean your brushes. So I am going to use the ones that are kind of left over. Some little favourites are still here and there, but yeah, that's going to be interesting. So I think what I want to do is start with the shade Parallel, which is this one here. It's kind of a bluey, purpley tone, I want to say. And I just want to pop this in the outer corner for some depth. It definitely looks more blue now I've put it on the eye. I do usually like Beauty Bay mattes. They are not the most buildable in the world. They're buildable to a point, but they are pigmented and blendable. Okay, I like that. I like that. This is not going to be the most super intricate look you've ever seen, but I did want to test this palette just while I had a little bit of time this morning. And I of course have ordered all of the Melt collection, the Nightmare Before Christmas, so prepare for a video on that when that arrives. I'm sorry if you can hear the background noise. I feel like somebody maybe next door is either hoovering or leaf blowing in their garden, that type of noise. Okay, I'm just going to clean my brush off and then just sort of wiggle this shape and start to blend it out. Now, these types of cool tone colours will not blend out super well on me because I don't have a cool undertone as far as I'm aware. It's more neutral, slightly yellow, I believe. This is just the illusion that I've been giving myself for quite a while, so that is what I like to tell people, but I don't know how true that is. And I do want to take a little bit of that same shade and just continue that onto the lower lash line a little bit and then smoke that out, just so it all connects up. Okay, that's pretty much looking how I want it to look. So then I feel like maybe we'll go into Reality, which is the nice purpley lilac. And of course I was going to be including this because this is one of the brightest, most colourful matte shades in the palette. So there was no way I wasn't going to be using this. Let's just make sure I'm not super creasy here, and we'll go in with this shade. I'm packing that on, and as you can see, that is delicious. I don't know how much use I'm going to get out of this palette, if I'm honest, just because it is so cool toned and doesn't have that many mattes in it, so I can't imagine myself reaching for it regularly, which is a shame. I do love to collect beauty-based shadows though, and if cool tones are your thing and you love shimmers, you love duochromes, then this is probably calling to you. And I think I want to put the purple over the inner corner. Like I say, we don't have a lot of mattes to play with in this palette, so I feel limited personally, just because I like to play with a lot of different matte tones in a look. With this palette though, I will say you could do some really nice smoky eyes. There are enough mattes and deep mattes to create a really nice dramatic smoky eye, and then just put one of the duochromes all over the lid. That would be insanely beautiful. And I am just going to blend out that lower lash line a little bit with the shade Morph, which is actually quite deep still, so very, very small amounts of this. Then we have to pick a shimmer to go on the lid, and I haven't actually swatched this as you're watching this right now, so I need to locate the duochromes. I feel like, what on earth does that say? Digital? That looks like a duochrome. It looks like a silvery purpley lilac. Prism also looks like a duochrome, so does Oil. I think Portal has purple but with blue specks in it. Ooh, Spill also looks a little bit duochromy. I think I want to use this one called, I think it's called Digital. That is the shade. Yeah, that's definitely one of the duochromes. It is beautiful. I think I want to just apply this with my finger to begin with and really make a focus of this shade. Then I am just going to take a little bit on a brush just to make sure it's blended in where I want it to blend in. That looks like a starry night, and I'm not mad. That looks beautiful. It does look like there's a lot of glitter particles in it, like really small ones. Then I think I want to take a little bit, ooh, I don't know whether to go, maybe, should we do Oil or Spill? Because Oil looks like a purple duochrome, Spill looks more blue. Maybe we'll go with Spill, just because we have the blue in the outer corner. I'm just gonna sandwich that between the matte and the duochrome we used, just to create a nice blend between the two. And I think that's going to be more or less it for the eyeshadow. I might jump off, I may play with some water activated liner, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. Okay, I like how all this came together, I can't lie. I did obviously go in with my Arttitude Cosmetics Split It Painter's Paradise palette, which was kindly gifted to me in PR. I did use the white shade just to draw on some little stars. I did go in with a few little gems here and there. And what really elevated this look, I feel like, is when I went in with my Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in DTLA. I'm not sure if they've got this specific colour anymore because they did reformulate, but I did smoke this out on the lower lash line and kind of created a little wing effect type thing with it and just smudged it out on top of what I already had. And I feel like it took it to the next level and made it a little bit more dramatic. Of course, you can do that with the palette. I was using the liner at the time for my waterline, and for the very inner part of my waterline, I did use my Beauty Bay Shadow Stick in Jungle Sky, but I don't think they do these anymore. And I did go in with a half lash, but they won't be linked down below because I don't support the brand anymore, unfortunately. I'm just getting my use out of the lashes that I have left. I love this look. I feel like a starry night, and there's nothing I love more than stars. A lot of my tattoos are star related. I love anything celestial and starry, so this look is making me very happy, even though it's on the more cool tone side. Please do let me know what you think to this look down below, and let's discuss my first impressions on the palette because, let's be honest, I've only been able to use a few of the shades. I wanted to create something that was a little bit more simple if you wanted some inspiration or you wanted to recreate a look from this palette, or even just dupe it with the shades that you've got in your stash. And I mean, minus the gems and the water activated liner, I feel like it was quite a simple look. We only used 2 mattes and 2 shimmers, which I feel like is pretty achievable for a lot of people that aren't as confident or are more beginners. But of course, if you want to make it a little bit more dramatic, go in with the liner, the gems, you know, all of that good stuff. But I feel like the shades that I used, I didn't have any issues with them. The mattes felt like very similar Beauty Bay quality as to what I'm used to. The duochrome is interesting. I think it's very pretty, sparkly looking, and it does look beautiful on the lid and a bit like a night sky. It's not like some of the duochromes that I'm used to in some of my indie brand palettes though, for example. It's going to be interesting when I swatch this and actually see them on my arm, because the shade that we used the most of, which is, why did I pick the one that I can't say very well? Fidgetal? This Fidgetal shade looks amazing on the finger, but I don't know if it loses a little bit of its base when I'm putting it on the eye. Do you know? So I need to definitely play around with this palette some more. I have to do some more looks with this. Please let me know if you would like another video on this palette and how many looks you'd like to see in that. Please be kind, I'm very busy. Otherwise, I will just do some looks for Instagram and play around with this some more, because I do like to come back to you after I've used things a lot more, got my full thoughts on them, and then give you my final impression on the palette. Of course, this is just a first impression, and for a first impression, I like it. I think it is good quality. I'm going to test out those duochromes some more though, because I have some amazing duochromes in my collection, and are these going to stack up against them? Are they going to come close for a more affordable price? I'm going to have to see. But matte wise, more or less what I expected, had no issues. The shimmers did apply beautifully on a goat's hair brush and with my finger, so that wasn't an issue to pick them up or anything. It does look like there may be some putty type formulas in here that I haven't dug into yet. So the shades that I've used so far, shimmer wise, I don't feel like they're particularly putty like some of the Beauty Bay shimmer formulas. And of course you can go in the inner corner with this gorgeous bright white shifty shade here, which would look gorgeous, but I mean, I do love a matte inner corner. And although this colour story on a whole isn't my usual aesthetic, because although we have purple, and I do love purple and I do love blue, the shades that are chosen are definitely more cool toned, like I say, more space agey, futuristic kind of vibes. So it wouldn't necessarily pull me towards it in the way I absolutely need that colour story, just personal preference wise. But I do love to try the Beauty Bay formula and shadows and pick up all the palettes that they release, especially to review for you guys in case you're interested in picking any of them up, or do you just want to watch and see what they're like without purchasing. But those are my first impressions on the Metamorphic palette, and I definitely need to do some more looks. Please let me know what you think, guys. Are you interested in this palette? Is this colour story the type of colour story that speaks to you? Do you miss some mattes, or are you glad there are so many shimmers? And let me know what you think about the fact that there's duochromes. Thank you so much for checking out this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please do give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, let me know your thoughts. I will of course link below my socials, my Patreon group and my YouTube membership in case you want to join in the fun, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!